I'm a sneaker kind of girl. I love comfortable shoes, but I also want them to look cute. The New Balance 1080 is that versatile go-to sneaker that's ready for anything. I wear them to the gym, I wear them out on jogs, I wear them around the town to go get groceries. I do it all. You get the perfect mix of comfort and performance. So you're covered from coffee runs to race day. Runners love that cushion midsole because it's got their back, or, well, actually their feet. But basically, it's this giant, cushiony, beautiful marshmallow shoe. Doesn't make sense until you put it on your feet, and then you're like, oh, yeah, Rach, this is just like walking in a marshmallow. Ready to upgrade your kicks? Shop the 1080 now at newbalance.com.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Making the decision to help our kids thrive instead of just survive requires so much work, so much time, so much effort, so many try this therapist, try that psychologist, try this tutor, try this school, it requires a lot. It is a part-time, if not a full-time job. But maybe the space to focus in on the kid at home is exactly what that kid needs to become the best version of themselves. Because chances are, if the one who's graduating is the stable one, like you said, and then the second kid is the one who has a harder time, that second kid knows. They know that their big brother is the, quote, stable kid. They know that, which means they are comparing themselves, maybe other people in their life compare them to the big brother. That is an impossible space to live into.
Hey guys, it's Rach. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. And I have a favor, which sounds kind of harsh if we just met, but I'm assuming that most of you have been a part of this community for a hot minute. And so I gotta ask, are you subscribed to the podcast? Subscribing to the podcast you listen to regularly is one of the best things that you can do for hosts like me. It helps to support the show and the staff that works on it. It ensures that you never miss an episode when we drop a new one. And here's the cool thing about subscribing. If you do it and then you hate this show, just unsubscribe. It's one click away. In the meantime, if you're listening, we would so appreciate it if you would just tap that button and make it official. Guys, it's Rach. Welcome to another episode of the podcast and a new edition in our Ask Rach series. This episode is going to be questions. I'm going to listen to voicemails that people have called in and left me asking a question about honestly anything and everything, and then I am giving my answers in real time, meaning when you hear the question for the first time, I'm also hearing it. So my answers tend to be from my gut, total intuition, whatever I would say if you were sitting in front of me asking the very same question. As always, I like to remind you guys, I am not an expert. There are lots of experts who can give you great advice. I am just a random chick you know from the internet. So if I say something that doesn't resonate with you, just ignore it. All right, let's jump into our very first question of today, which is about failure, apparently. Always a fantastic way to start a conversation. Let's see what she has to say.
Hi, Rachel. My name is Chelsea. I'm from Michigan. We met at one of your talks. I talked to you briefly about how I started working from home and that I wanted to ultimately be a writer. And that was over a year ago, and I have not made momentum with that. The other day, I contacted a publishing company, and it got real for me. I have only 20 pages written, for this personal development personal development book that I've been working on. But the second, I'm not kidding, the second that it was like, wait, this is going to be real, I got very insecure and doubted myself, like worried about criticism, worried about what people would think. So very afraid of failure. And I'm not usually like that, but this is like my dream since I was in 5th grade or something. I want to be a published author and I'm scared. So I was just wondering how you handle criticism, or maybe talk about the fear of failure. I know you have episodes on fear of success. I'm just scared. I'm just really scared. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Chelsea, this is so normal. So many people listening to this episode right now are nodding along with you because they have felt a similar feeling of, what happens if I put myself out there? What happens if I actually pursue this dream, like for real, for real? And first of all, let's just normalize it. There is an entire episode on this fear and the fear of not being good enough and not having enough worth to pursue the things that we want to pursue. That is episode 770, if anyone wants to take a deeper dive. But from my perspective, let's actually just make it super simple here. Let's simplify the process. Let's not talk more about emotions or unpacking those. Let's make this really goal-oriented. Because in a situation like this, I don't actually think it's super helpful for you to dive deeper into why you are feeling the way you are feeling. We don't need to know why. We need to know how. We need to know what. We need to do something that's going to kick us in the butt and move us forward. So what I actually think you should focus on is, what is the goal? What is the goal? Because you said in this voice memo, I want to be a published author. Well, sister, if you want to be a published author, then write and publish a book. Done. If you want to be a published author, write and publish a book. Where in the world does other people's opinions come into that goal? Where in the world would you be afraid of failure because the only way you would fail is if you don't write and publish the book? So something about this is misaligned. Your goal has ballooned into maybe many goals. To us, you're saying, I want to be a published author. That's been my goal since I was a little girl. But what it sounds like you might be adding to that is, I want to be a published author. I want it to be successful. I want people to respect the work. I want to find a fan base. Maybe I want to make this my living. All of a sudden, you've added a crazy amount of weight to this one goal. It's not one thing. It suddenly became 100 things. And quite honestly, you're never going to successfully navigate that, especially on your first time out of the gate. Let's get simple. Let's be really crystal clear on exactly what the goal is for you. The goal is, I want to be a published author. Fantastic, Chelsea. There are really specific steps you can take right now today to become a published author. Number one, and this is the hardest part, you have to actually write words. You have to sit down in front of a computer and write over and over and over and over. And it is so exhausting. It is such a slog. It sucks. I'm writing maybe my 12th book at this point. Right now, I am actively writing a book. And I promise you, it sucks just as much today as it did at the beginning. It does not get easier to be a writer. It is something you do by yourself. It is not sexy. Almost every single time you sit down, there's a voice in the back of your head telling you that you suck, telling you that nobody wants to read this, telling you that people are going to laugh you out of town as soon as they find out that you think you can write this kind of book. Who does she think she is? All of that is resistance doing everything it can to keep you from doing the work. If you haven't read the book, The War of Art, please, please, please get that immediately. Your only mission then is to overcome that resistance. Your only mission is to tell the voice to shut it or ignore the voice as it screams at you and just keep doing the work. Writing a book is really hard. That's why most people will never actually finish the manuscript they are working on, because nobody wants to sit down and write that many words and then edit it 10 times and hope it doesn't suck. Very few people can take that on. understand this process is not supposed to be easy because this process is weeding out people who don't really want it. And if you don't really want it, you shouldn't even try. It's way too hard. There are so many better ways to use your time. But if you do want to be an author, there is one thing standing in between you and that goal, and that is finishing this book. So I'm hoping that since you left this voice memo, maybe you've gotten a little fire under your butt and you've written all of the things and you're in the editing process. But just in case you haven't, this is your sign from the universe that the only thing you need to do, quite frankly, if I was your coach in this, I would tell you, do not talk to publishers. Do not be talking to a publisher, because here's what I think happened. I could be totally wrong, but I've been in the publishing industry over 10 years. So here's what I think happened. What I think happened is you thought if you got validation from an outside source, like if you reached out to a publisher, maybe it's a publisher that helps you to self-publish books, that talking to that person, understanding the process, here's how much it would cost, here's what it would look like, here's our time frame and the editing structure. You thought that if you had someone else's buy-in on the dream, it would actually encourage you to do the work you know you need to do, which is to write the book. My instinct is that's what you mean when you say you reached out to a publisher, because there is no world where a first-time author would talk to a big publisher unless the book was done. That's real. What we try and do is we try and find the willpower from something else. We try and fake it, right? We're like, oh, well, I'm going to give myself this deadline. We use these little cues to get ourselves to move. And sometimes that can really work. Maybe talking to that outside publisher was really helpful for you. But I freaking promise you, even if you're like, I'm going to pay them a deposit and I'm going to do this, the only thing that is going to get you to this goal is writing. And it sucks and it's hard, but guess what? That is the answer. What's amazing about this dream is that it is hard to write a book, but the path from where you are to where you want to go is very simple. That is a gift. When the path is simplistic, that is a gift. So many people have dreams and goals, but they don't know what they're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do, you just don't want to do it. I think you need to get out of your head. I think you need to stop overthinking this. This isn't really a question of being afraid of failing. This is a question of you letting resistance win every single day. Every single day that you don't write this book, resistance wins. If you're listening to this and you want to start a business and you've been talking about starting a business for 5 years and every single day you don't work on that dream, resistance wins. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go read The War of Art. You are up against this invisible force that will come up with every possible excuse in the universe to keep you from doing the thing you know you need to do. You don't need to worry about people judging you or, oh, I have a fear of failure or what people will think of me for writing a book. Babe, you don't have a book. Are you telling yourself that the reason you don't have a book is because you're worried about other people judging you for it? Because that's the kind of thing that people would be way more encouraging of. Oh, yeah, I get it. I have fear of failure too. It's not fear of failure. It's not fear of failure. It's pushing past not wanting to do this thing that's really hard. Nobody is judging you for writing a book because you haven't written a book. And I say that with so much love in my heart. I say that at 42 years old to the version of me 15 years ago that had started 15 different manuscripts and couldn't finish one. And had every excuse under the sun for why I couldn't finish a manuscript. I didn't finish a manuscript because it was hard. I don't think you need to unpack this. I don't think this is emotional. I don't think it needs to be all of those things. This is very simple. You sit down and write words. If you want to write a nonfiction self-help book, I can tell you right now, this is my world, that book's going to need to be 65,000 words long. 65,000 words. Amazing. So you're going to take 65,000 words and you're going to break that down by the amount of days that you want to write that book in. If you are writing 1,000 words a day, that's called your daily word count. If you're going to write 1,000 words a day, which is pretty challenging if you're a new writer, but 1,000 words a day, then fantastic. In 65 days, you would have a finished manuscript. It would be a shitty first draft, but it would be done, right? If you're going to write 500 words a day, well, in 130 days, you could have a finished manuscript. Again, it will be terrible because it's a first draft, but if you've never read Bird by Anne Lamott, this would be a moment to bring that into play. You just allow yourself to create something that's crap. Worry about what people are going to think about the book you wrote when you're way further along the journey. It's like people who are in business, entrepreneurs, the marketing team gets really fired up. Oh, we need to redo the website. We got to redo the website. Well, like, why? Oh, because it would be prettier if we redid the website. But your website doesn't make any money right now. You're trying to solve the wrong problem. Your website doesn't currently make you any money. It's not converting the customers that you're getting. It's not about a prettier website. It's about doing the work to figure out how to get the results that you want. The result that you want is a finished, crappy first draft. That looks like writing words. Don't make this deep. Don't get emotional. Don't make up a whole fantasy world about what comes next. Sit down in the chair and write the words. I love you. I do not mean any of that in a harsh way, but it's been a year since you and I had the conversation. You said it's been a year and you haven't done anything. So you don't need someone to hold your hand. You need someone to kick your butt. And I love you enough to do that. Visiting South Dakota was always one of my someday things. Like, well, someday I'm going to go see the Dakotas, and someday I'm going to walk through Badlands National Park, and someday I'm going to see Mount Rushmore in person. And then a couple summers ago, I just made someday today, and it was awesome. The kids and I had the most amazing time. We went hiking. We saw Mount Rushmore, which is like shockingly more majestic than you think it would be. We had amazing dinners. We stayed in this awesome log cabin in a national park. It was truly one of our favorite family vacations. And I loved it because it was this great blend of seeing a part of the U.S. I'd never seen before and being outside in nature. So maybe it's time you turn someday into today. See why there's so much South Dakota and so little time. Plan your escape at travelsouthdakota.com. Step into the freedom of summer with jewelry that reflects who you are and where you're going. From sunrise to sunset, Pandora Jewelry transports you to paradise. No passport required. From ocean charms to colorful tennis bracelets, shop new arrivals to add to your summer staples. Be unmissable this summer with vacation-ready designs. Everyone loves adding a little something fun to their wardrobe during the summer, and accessories are the easy go-to staple that will jazz up any outfit. Feel it, live it, embrace it. Be love. Shop in-store or online at pandora.net to discover new styles. Next question. Okay.
Hi, Rachel. This is Lexi from the Binghamton, New York area. I'm listening to your episode right now. It's the latest one on basically being in a bad mood. And I have been in a bad mood for 4 months since I did a big move from the Adirondack Mountains to Binghamton, New York with my boyfriend. And Rach, I can't get out of this bad mood. I feel like just being in this area, I'm back living near my parents, and it's so hard. And I am a happy-go-lucky gal. I found a job here I really like. You know, we're trying to make the most of things. But Rachel, I cannot get out of this bad mood. And the worst part is I have the most amazing boyfriend, and we are just really struggling with this move. And I don't know, maybe you could give me a little bit of advice. And I know that you are so busy and have so much going on. And a lot of people out there have a lot of bit bigger problems than I do. But to me, this is the biggest problem I've ever gone through. I don't know how to navigate this. I've gone to a therapist. We have gone to couples counseling. It's just no one thinks there's a problem, and I'm in a bad mood. And you know about bad moods. And girlfriend, if you could just somehow reach out to me, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
this is not a bad mood. You don't like where you live. Girl, this is not a bad mood. This is not hormones. This is not energy. This is not you not being able to overcome. You don't like where you live. You were happy where you lived before. You moved to a place you're not happy in now. You don't like where you live. And I wish, this is like, Jack, this is why we need people to call in so I can get the context. I need the context. I need to understand why you have moved to this town that you don't want to be in. Adirondack Mountains, that sounds fabulous. This is not that complicated. Does it feel complicated to you because you don't want to have to come to grips with the fact that maybe you made a decision about where you are living? I'm just so confused. A bad mood, in the episode that she's talking about, how to get out of a bad mood, is more about like stuff that you've been through, the way that you're showing up in the world, sort of the filter you see the world through. It's like all of that stuff. This is a very specific thing. If you have a cause and the effect is the mood for 4 months and everyone else in your life is like, you don't have a problem, screw them. If you think you have a problem, you have a problem. Your therapist doesn't have to live your life. Your parents don't have to live your life. Even your partner isn't inside your body, isn't in your spirit, isn't in your heart. Like, girl, move. Move back to where you came from. Try something else. Become a digital nomad. Go on the road. Like, I don't know the exact right answer for you, but I actually don't think that this is a really complicated thing to figure out. I think that you made a mistake and that you should move somewhere else. Yeah, if you weren't in the mood before and now you are and something very specific happened to affect you, not your fault. Location's fault. Move somewhere else. I know people are like, well, everyone can't just, Rachel, we can't just pack up and move. I mean, you did it once. Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate with myself because I don't know her context. Maybe for some reason she cannot move. My first choice is she moves. But let's say she can't move. No matter what, I don't know why. There's some scenarios she can't move. I don't really believe in can't. I think that if you don't have the answer you're looking for, it's because you haven't actually asked the right questions. But that's neither here nor there. Let's dig into this idea. Let's say she absolutely cannot move. She needs to stay in this town for whatever reason. Well, then let's just go through what you used to experience in the last place that you were at and see if you can bring some of that environment, some of that experience, some of that community into the place you are now. If you used to live in the mountains, which means, I'm making this up, that you got to be outside in nature all the time and now you're really missing that in the place that you're in, okay, can you be more intentional about adding experiences into your day-to-day that would give you some of the feeling that you had at that time? If you're missing your community that you had at the old place, could you call them more, FaceTime them more, go visit them? Could you be really intentional about seeking out clubs and groups in the place that you live now to see if you can recreate some of that magic? How can we pool the parts of your old life into your new one? Lots of things we could do there, but I think you should move. That's if I wasn't clear, I think it's the place. I don't think it's you. That, sometimes it's just a real quick and easy answer. Producer Jack did point out that there are 2 episodes on mood and mindset. If anyone wants to take a deeper dive, that is episode 610 and 611. That's a 2-parter. It's a 2-for-1. If you want to take a deep dive on how to focus your mood and your mindset, go jump into that. Now we have another question. It's about Jackson. Let's hear what it has to say. While this loads up, if you've got a question that you would like to ask on the hotline, we would love to hear from you. And I think what we've learned today, Jack, is that we need a little more context. Obviously, we're not looking for a 10-minute monologue on these voicemails, but it would be great to just, if you're telling me a story and you're looking for advice and you're leaving out a key element like, I'm fighting with my mom, key element would be, and we fight about everything all the time, or I'm fighting with my mom, but she's amazing in every other regard. That's the context I need, guys. I need more context. But let's jump into this question. You guys can call the hotline 737-400-4626. Last question of the day. Let's see what it says.
I recently heard that you have a decision for college for your oldest son being made, which means you know in what region of the U.S. or overseas you'll be going to study, and you, like me, will be launching your first child in the fall. I wanted to know how you were feeling about launching your child. And with 3 kids left at home, plan to sort of manage for life without their big brother around, and what kind of things you're anticipating, or maybe you're just going to run with it. I have 1 child who will be launching and 1 child left at home. The child left at home is definitely in a difficult season that I don't see ending anytime soon. So that has made me feel a little bit anxious about what life at home will be without our more balanced child, and also just feeling sad for us that he's leaving, but happy for him. So just wanted to see if you had any thoughts already about launching your first child for college. Thanks so much, and keep podcasting and sharing all your wise words. It makes this girl very happy. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
I love a beautiful outdoor space. I love a well-manicured lawn. I love, is there a lounge? Is there an outdoor table? There's just something so beautiful about a summer evening. Are there twinkly lights over the top? I mean, we really go the extra mile with our outdoor space this time of year. And if you need to upgrade your outdoors, Wayfair's got everything you can imagine to level up your outdoor space. They have patio sets and lounge chairs, outdoor bars, even hot tubs, you guys. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. It's easy to have a one-stop shop where you can make over your entire yard with a resort feel without the resort price tag. Don't wait. Make your outdoor space your dream oasis today with Wayfair and enjoy it all summer long. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. My favorite part about Thrive Market is that I don't have to think about it. As a mom of 4 kids trying to get dinner on the table, make sure there are enough snacks in the pantry and items to fill their lunch boxes, it is so nice to not have to think about whether or not the ingredients and what I'm shopping for are actually good for my family. This is the beauty of Thrive Market. It's your favorite health food store, but online and way more affordable. Not only can I get my favorite products, but I also always find brand new ones that I didn't know existed. Things like Ora Bora sparkling water or Unreal dark chocolate bars with coconut. Oh my gosh, have you guys had those? Thrive has supplements, household items, and clean beauty too. All of their items are vetted and all way more affordable than you think. Skip the junk without overspending. Head to thrivemarket.com/Rach to get 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift. That's thrivemarket.com/Rach, thrivemarket.com/RACH. I'm feeling a lot of things. The honest truth is I will get emotional and cry 3 times a week, and I've been in that state for about 6 months. I love our family. I love our family. I love my kids. I love my husband. We are all so close. We have grown so close on the other side of some really hard seasons. And I think that we made it through those seasons with our hearts still intact and thriving to the best of our ability because of how close we are. So part of me feels a little nervous and sad for what it looks like for a piece of our heart to go move across the country. I am obsessed with all my kids, but for very different reasons. And Jackson is, I'm going to try not to cry. See, it happens all the time. He's just so special. I think I've told you guys the story before that the very first time I brought him home from the hospital, I sat down in the rocking chair in his nursery. It was the rocking chair where I had been sitting, with my pregnant belly, rubbing my belly for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I sat down with him. It's so vivid in my memory, him being in my arms and looking down at him. And I started bawling because I saw the day where he would leave. Like, it was such a weird, I was looking at this tiny little baby and I thought, someday he's going to go off to college. So wild. But here we are. And he has worked so hard. I don't know if any of y'all saw, I put an Instagram post when we took him to visit his new school. If you have a kid going to college, if you are a kid who's currently applying to college, like, you understand how freaking absolutely so difficult, so competitive, so intense this process is. So for him to get to the other side of that and land at a school he's so excited about and he's worked so hard to go to, it makes my heart so happy. And he's going to Northwestern, so shout out to the Midwest, shout out to Chicago. I could not be more thrilled that that's where he's ended up. To be totally honest, he got into some schools in New York, and his original heart was in New York. He wanted to go to New York, and I was just everything about that felt wrong to me. Not New York, but just like for him, we know our kids, and I just had the strongest feeling like that is not where he is supposed to be. And I love Chicago. I love Evanston now that I visited it. Like, I could not be more thrilled. I feel really excited. I already have a plan in my mind of, okay, when I go visit, obviously I'm staying at Soho House Chicago because it's the best Soho outside of Barcelona. We're getting into the weeds, but like, I have a whole plan, right? And this is where we're going to go have dinner, and this is what we're going to do. And it was so helpful. Kez and I took him to go tour the campus, and it was so helpful to see where he's going to be. It was the admitted students tour. So it's just like a different vibe. So you're seeing and kind of like getting behind the scenes, and here's where they'll eat, and here's what a dorm room looks like. And that was just so helpful for us because now I could visualize some kind of future. I didn't go to a traditional college. Kez didn't go to a traditional college. Like, we had no frame of reference for what does this look like? How does this work? So really, we were learning along with him. Where is he going to go to the gym? Where is he going to get vegetables? Like, I just want to know the lifestyle that he is going to have. Yeah, that was super helpful and really like calmed my spirit a lot to be able to go do that. It is like so bittersweet, so bittersweet to think about. Oh God, this is so hard to talk about. To think about a world where he's not at home all the time. Rachel, get it together. Jack's laughing at me behind a window. Oh my God, like, just that's so crazy. It was just Mother's Day, and he wrote my card. Like, they all get me cards, and he, bless him, like, he always like writes a novel, which is my favorite. But the whole card this year was about our relationship changing. And he was like, you are my day one, like, you're my ride or die. And that's not changing. It's just going to look different. He's so mature. Like, it's just going to look different for us now, Mom. And I'm going to call you every day, like sometimes probably 10 times a day because I don't know what I'm doing. And I mean, even if he's just making that up and he's not going to call me 10 times a day, that is exactly what I wanted for Mother's Day. But yeah, guys, it's like, it's exciting and it's also hard. And beautiful. And this is the entire point, I think, of having kids, is that you're trying to like raise them to be functional adults. And this is like the best possible next step for him. So that's how I'm feeling. I would say our whole family's feeling it. Like, I mean, Sawyer would be mortified if he knew I told you guys this, but Sawyer's like broke down crying a couple times, thinking about his big brother not being close, not being in the same house. Like, it's just a big thing for all of us. The really cool thing about the process is that Jackson truly blazed a trail for the other kids. He really, truly blazed a trail. Like, my kids can't look at me as the example for going to college. Like, they can't really I went to acting school for a year. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Art. Like, I have you didn't have to get good grades. You had to audition. You had to be dramatic. Like, I checked all the boxes. So he's really blazed a trail for the other kids, set an incredible example of what is possible for them. And in doing so, I think that he changed the trajectory of their lives because of the example that he's setting. But I do also understand what it looks like to lose, a member of your family, to not be under one roof together. As you mentioned, like, this is the more stable child. I get that. What would be really helpful, I think, for you is to look at this as an opportunity to really go deep with the baby that's left at home. To really go, you know what? Okay, this is the year where we really work with them. We really get crystal clear with them what they need, the help that they need, the guidance that they need, tutoring or therapy or, a club, a community, let's figure it out. What do we need to do so that this baby left at home so they can thrive? Making the decision to help our kids thrive instead of just survive requires so much work, so much time, so much effort, so many, try this therapist, try that psychologist, try this tutor, try this school, it requires a lot. It is a part-time, if not a full-time job. But maybe the space to focus in on the kid at home is exactly what that kid needs to become the best version of themselves. Because chances are, if the one who's graduating is the stable one, like you said, and then the second kid is the one who has a harder time, that second kid knows. They know that their big brother is the, quote, stable kid. They know that, which means they are comparing themselves. Maybe other people in their life compare them to the big brother. That is an impossible space to live into. So maybe this is actually an incredible opportunity for you and the child left at home to thrive together and to figure this out together. Because I promise you, if you see it in any other way, that kid's going to get worse. They rise to the level of expectation. They rise to the level of expectation. If you think that your kid is the greatest thing since sliced bread, they're super smart, they have talent to offer the world, they have potential. If you see the good qualities in them, if you see the talent that's there and you want to fan the flames of that talent, they are going to become better. If you see the kid as this is how they're failing, their grades suck, they're disrespectful, yeah, they got B's and C's in this class, but over here they got an F. If you're just focusing on the negative stuff, they are going to become more of what you expect. I think it's sort of like two different worlds for you to inhabit right now. I think you need to honor yourself and your parenting and the relationship with your oldest son and celebrate and mourn what's changing about that relationship. And also, I think you should see the opportunity you have here with the kid that's left at home. Maybe this is about to be the best thing that ever happened for your family. Only you get to decide that. But I know you'll make the right choice. Guys, I am so grateful to everyone who called in today so that I could answer your questions to the best of my ability. If you have a question you want us to answer here on the pod, the number is 737-400-4626. As always, we're happy to leave your voice out. We're happy to change your voice. We're happy to not mention your name, which happened in one of the episodes. Just let us know. We will keep it as anonymous as you would like us to, but we'd love your questions because they help to make the show about you guys. I will be back soon with more conversation just like this one. Until then, as always, I love you and I'm rooting for you. The Rachel Hollis Podcast is produced by me, Rachel Hollis. It's edited by Andrew Weller and Jack Noble. I'm a sneaker kind of girl. I love comfortable shoes, but I also want them to look cute. The New Balance 1080 is that versatile go-to sneaker that's ready for anything. I wear them to the gym. I wear them out on jogs. I wear them around the town to go get groceries. I do it all. You get the perfect mix of comfort and performance. So you're covered from coffee runs to race day. Runners love that cushioned midsole because it's got their back, or, well, actually their feet. But basically, it's this giant, cushiony, beautiful marshmallow shoe. Doesn't make sense until you put it on your feet, and then you're like, oh, yeah, Rach, this is just like walking in a marshmallow. Ready to upgrade your kicks? Shop the 1080 now at newbalance.com.
When summer vacation calls, it matters where you stay. And Hilton and SiriusXM are teaming up to bring you the music that matters to you, too. Because this summer, check into select Hilton Luxury, Business, and Extended Stay properties and press play on your perfect getaway with free in-room access to SiriusXM. Get the ultimate summer soundtrack with ad-free music, plus podcasts, talk shows, sports, and more. Stay closer to your favorite artists and hosts when you stay at your favorite Hilton. Hilton, for the stay.